Your voice, your community station. You are listening to IPL Radio.
We are back in the studio and I have the sweetest guests with me today on the Jess address. Thank you so much, Aaron and Kelly, for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about Sweet Talk Western Australia?
Yeah, Jess. Thanks for having us on. So, yeah, Sweet Talk WA. So, for starters, sweet being honey, and the talk is, well, we love talking about bees. That's why we're so honoured to be here today. And the talk is actually the initials of the family. So,
is it?
Yeah. So, T's for Thomas, my son, Aaron, myself, Leah, daughter, and Kelly, of course. So, so Sweet Talk. It just kind of made sense,
And talking on radio makes more sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great sense. And we're here to talk about your great products. But not only that, we were just recently, I saw on your Facebook page, there is a bit of news around for beekeepers at the moment, and it's not necessarily positive, but we need to get that news out there, that we've got an invader in our midst.
Yeah, we certainly do. So over in New South Wales at the moment, it's a little mite. It's called the Varroa destructor, or just the Varroa mite.
And it is a destructor.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, it destroys hives. After probably about a year or two of being in Australia, there's going to be hives are going to start being decimated by this thing. And, it's really nasty little mite. It attaches itself to a bee, so it's actually the female that. She lays her eggs inside the cells. The little mite will develop in the cell, attach itself to the little pupae of the larvae inside the cell. And then once that cell is uncapped and the bee crawls out, then there's a numerous mites in there. They'll come out and attach themselves to the adult bee. And so that mite, what it does is it'll get into the segments of the abdomen of the insect. So if anyone's ever looked at insects before, and especially bees, you got these little segments at the back.
Yep.
And the mite will sort of get into that segment and feed on the body fat of that bee. As well as while it's the biggest reason it decimates the hives is while it's inside the cell of a developing bee, it's feeding on that developing bee. So
it's not developing well, obviously.
No. So, I mean, like, if you compare it, like, think of us as humans, a developing fetus. Imagine something being inside the womb, feeding off. That's a horrible thought, but that's basically what's happening. And so the development of that bee is just is hampered, and they come out with deformed wings and all sorts of stuff, yeah.
And I've watched the bee movie, and they do say that its body's too fat to actually fly anyway. So if you have a mite on it, I can only imagine it's going to make it more difficult to fly and do its very important job, which is to go out there and pollinate flowers and actually create food for us.
Correct, yeah. So, and I'm glad you brought that up. So with that mite being here in Australia, that's going to have a significant effect on our agricultural industry. So we have numerous crops, and in particular the almond crops. I believe we're the second largest producer of almonds in the world. And
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. We rely heavily on beehives to pollinate those crops.
Yep.
And so at the moment, New South Wales, and I dare say soon probably South Australia and potentially even Queensland, if this mite isn't controlled.
What are they doing in terms of whether you know of what they're doing to try and control this mite?
Yeah, so Department of Primary Industries in New South Wales, they're currently tracking. So it's almost like close contact tracking for COVID, pretty much. Yeah, it's similar sort of thing. So they're detecting these mites in the hives. Unfortunately, there was a commercial beekeeper who had mites, and they've probably moved a lot of their hives, so they're tracking all those at the moment.
Yep.
And so when they discover a hive with the mite in it, they have to destroy it.
Okay.
There's no real treatment.
That's devastating.
Yeah. They literally they burn the hive.
Yeah.
It's the only way. Yeah.
Okay. But onto some more positive news is the fact that you guys are hive keepers. You are keeping on top of that. You guys will know, and you guys have such healthy little hives, and you're producing these amazing, I'm a client of yours, and how many times have I been knocking at your door going for that canola honey? So can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do, where your hives are, how you produce such beautiful honey?
Yeah, all right. So the canola honey that you love so much, and we get quite a few people chasing that. It took us a bit to get it going, actually, because looking at it, it's a white.
Yeah,
so
it actually looks like butter.
Yeah. Or some people thought when we said, "Oh, it's canola honey," people think we're selling oil.
Yeah,
passing it off as honey or something. It's like no. So it comes from the canola plants up in the wheat belt there. So we move about 20 odd of our hives up into the wheat belt when the canola comes into bloom, and the bees get the nectar and pollen just from those flowers alone, and that way we know it's canola honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we move the hives up there. When the jarrah is in flower, we move some hives down to Darratup. Yeah, things like that.
So you obviously have quite a knowledge about what's flowering, what type of year, and what honey you're actually producing.
Yeah, you have to become, you're not just a beekeeper, you sort of have to learn a bit of botany as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still learning in that area. We kind of react sometimes. Like for instance, the canola, we get a phone call from the people that own the field up there. So, the canola's just come into flower. Like, it's not meant to for another month yet. So,
well, changing climates would obviously affect your industry as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So sometimes some years are very low production. Last season was pretty good. The season before that not so good. Yeah. So every year is different. So it's just that's the agricultural industry.
Kelly, do you want to tell us a little bit about the story about how Sweet Talk started?
Yes.
Does it have a little sweet story?
So we were in Alice Springs where my parents are, and just sitting around the table, Aaron was just flicking through a garden magazine.
Yep.
And came across an article on bees and beekeeping.
Yeah, it's an organic gardening magazine.
Yeah. Yep. So you just sat down, had a bit of a read, and at the end went, I want a beehive. And straight away, so we're on holiday, so straight away, contacting someone to arrange or to buy a beehive. So when we got back, it was on, wasn't it?
Yeah. Within a couple of weeks of getting back home, we had our first hive, yeah.
And how many beehives do you have now?
About 60.
Yeah.
60?
Yeah, but we still need to grow.
Yeah, and you're still growing.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've obviously got a good relationship with some of the farmers around here because, as you said, it's kind of a hand-in-hand partnership.
Yep.
They actually need the bees around to be able to do the pollination for the food, and you guys need the flowers. So it's actually a good relationship to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's it's a good mutual relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
So they got the citrus orchard. We know that they turned around after the first couple of years of having the hives, and they said that their production's increased. They get getting bigger, better oranges, and
Well, that's always lovely to hear that you guys are helping each other out. Tell us a little bit about the products that you have.
All right, so we've got a few different flavours of honey at the moment. We have come in some varied sizes. So we have our 1 kilo jars. We've got a 500 gram jar, and then we've started doing these little sample jars or gift jars as well, so people can have just a try of the different varieties of honey that we have.
Now, I can definitely recommend, I previously bought the 500 grams, I believe, for my teachers, for my kids, because I found that was an excellent gift to be able to give the teachers at the end of the year was a jar of your honey. Now, they all came back to me and said that was a great gift. We loved it. So if any of you guys are looking for gifts for swimming teachers, for teachers, come down and see Sweet Talk. How do they get in touch with you? How do they buy this stuff?
So we're on Facebook and Instagram. We also have a website. So if you just search up, it'll be there. So we haven't got a shop on our website yet. We're still working on that. But just get in contact with us, shoot us a message, and we can deliver within the Rockingham area.
Yep.
Otherwise, feel free to. We'll send you our address. Come around.
Yep.
Try a few different honeys and.
What about markets?
Yeah, markets.
Yeah, we have a few locations now. So we've just started at the Rockingham Rotary Markets. I think we're sort of going to aim maybe once a fortnight or once a month to go along there.
Yep.
We also have a place where our bees are is in Fairbridge, and it's a hip camp.
Okay, yes.
And so they're selling the honey straight from the hives on that property to
So
Happy
that's
Campus.
Jacaranda, do a bit of a shout out if that's right. But
absolutely.
So Jacaranda Hill, really good couple out there. They're living off grid, so they're trying to keep things as natural as they can. And so
we might have to get them in here to tell us a little bit
they
more
would love
about that.
They'd be keen for that.
Yeah,
so,
would love that.
Yeah, so they do the hip camp where people camp on their property, and it's a great spot. So overlooks down over Mandurah, I think it looks over towards.
Yeah.
You can just sort of see the ocean off in the distance, and
It's
beautiful.
spot. We've also got we've just put some honey on our shelf at Beach Bites Cafe.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
If anyone's out there who has a shop that is looking to stock this fabulous honey, get in contact with you guys. There's IGAs, there's places like that. I know you're listening.
Yeah.
So Aaron and Kelly, Sweet Talk, WA, these guys are local. They're doing a lot. They're actually helping produce the food that we eat, which is very, very important. I appreciate you guys coming in and showing us all. I'm a customer. I'm staying a customer. I love what you guys do. But we've got to listen to some more music at the moment. I'm not sure what we're going to listen to, actually. It might be a little bit of a surprise.
Your voice, your community station. You are listening to IPL Radio.